warlocks, hunters, titans, and all the ships at sea. It's Happy Hour from the Tower, sponsored by Hangry Gamer Gear. Use Happy Hour at checkout and receive 15% off your order. I am your host, T. Morris. It's been a while, what with family vacations and government shutdowns in January, but we are back with a long overdue video episode. Now, since its launch of Forsaken, I've been wanting to do a breakdown of Gambit gameplay. And last month, I went through 2 rounds worthy of a good review. So let's jump into this in-depth look at Gambit and my own gameplay, good and bad, here on Happy Hour from the Tower. So here we are in Gambit. I just love this. I love this mode of gameplay. But there are a lot of things you got to keep in mind when you're dealing with Gambit. Well, first off, as you can see right here, I'm using an auto rifle on a couple of the war beasts. And the nice strat with war beasts is they tend to clump together, so you can get multi-kills pretty easily this way. One of the other things you're going to notice too, though, when in this particular clip, is that I'm rocking 2 auto rifles. It was specifically for another bounty, but right now what I want you to notice is that when I came around this corner, I stepped into an incredible hot zone. So, particularly on this map, you want to know where your cover points are. And it's kind of hard to know what's waiting for you around the corner. But usually when you're coming around this particular corner, it's going to be a full house waiting for you. So find the cover, find your cover as best as possible. And particularly when you're dealing with Cabal, you're going to want to be aware of where turrets are. You're going to see the turrets. There's one above me right here. There's also another one just down that causeway. There's one in particular, and you'll notice in this replay, grenaded one of the Cabal, coming around the corner. There's the turret. Those things are gonna melt you if they hone in on you. So when you're dealing with Cabal in Gambit, and you know there are turrets in the area, just keep an eye out for them and make sure that's the first thing you take care of. You'll see that I take out that first one. And for some reason, I just made the bold assumption that the other one was taken care of. I'm getting very lucky because right now it's trained on somebody else. All right. So I pick up those. So I've got more than enough. I've got more than 5 moats right now, and I should have actually started making a play for the bank a lot sooner. As far as I know, that's what I use. What I usually do is I usually take care of. I usually when I get 5, I bank straight away. I'm not worried about getting 10 moats or 15. I just want to get them banked because I don't want to go down with a lot of moats being held. One thing I will say real quick is team shots when you're trying to clear the bank, always good. Now again, here we are. We're going up into steps. Steps is very close quarters. Coming around the corner. Now, watch this. So basically, I've got 2 yellow bars in front of me. I come around the corner, and yikes! I got 2 turrets, 2 yellow bars, and then of course I've got more Cabal. This is not a good situation to be in, and you'll see exactly how well I navigate this. Yeah. Going from one bad situation right into another. The good news is I only lost 1 moat, but you've got to get rid of those turrets. Those turrets will just melt you if you're not paying attention. All right, back in it to win it. Coming around the corner. Okay, so something to know about the portals, when they do open, that does not necessarily mean you have to go straight away. So you'll notice that members of my team are not going in just because the portal's open. We're actually hanging back, and we're still working on collecting moats. Oh, I should also mention too that I am not on comms with this team. I was actually going into Gambit solo on both of these rounds that you see here. It is a little tougher to solo in Gambit than in something like, say, the Crucible. Because sometimes it is a little aggravating when you've You've just made a lot of moats available, and yet you can't get to any of them. But remember, you're part of a team, so you're just, so long as everybody else works together on the team, you're good. Now we get to the issue of heavy ammo. And there's a link in the show notes where I talk about another video where they make it very clear that while ammo on the ground is fair game, the ammo that's by the portal, you really should leave that for whoever is going on the other side. Now you'll notice that somebody just picked up heavy, ran away from it, portal is still open. So basically they took the heavy ammo for themselves. Just because Gambit etiquette dictates that maybe you should leave that mounted heavy behind, doesn't necessarily mean that random players are going to follow it. So we come around the corner, we got 2 turrets on us, plus we got a war beast. Again, the turrets are making your life very uncomfortable here. Really, those 2 turrets should be down by now. And then, of course, we've got the war beast coming up, which didn't lay a finger on me, but you got the 2 Cabal up on the top deck. It's just a textbook flanking, as it were. So you want to be real careful with those turrets. Make sure you take them out. You got 3 of them, actually. I just saw that 3rd one in there. Forgot that was there, actually. Yes. Okay. So again, back in it to win it. When you start getting more than 2 blockers on your bank, you got issues. And right now, I believe on my team of randos, I believe we're team shooting. You can clear the bank easily when you're team shooting. If you're the lone guardian trying to clear the bank on your own, well, your results may vary. Now you'll also notice too, I'm taking out the turrets because my teammates just aren't on top of that. All right. Now, as you saw both in the progress up top, the enemy has called in a primeval. So now we're on a race against the clock. And as you see, we've got a blocker up. So I pull in some heavy fire just so I can clear the bank. I deposit my moats, and no one else is going for it, so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see what kind of damage I can do. I'm going to sit back and just let the rest of the Gambit show you what happens next.
Take out those guardians. That's 2. 10 seconds. The executioners come to town. You're in the lead. Take down that primeval.
That is the first time I have ever done that. Question is, how did I do it? Let's back it up and take a look. So to really understand how I pulled this off, the first thing you got to look at is what I'm going in with. I not only have plenty of heavy ammo, I've also got my super. And since I feel confident with my super, that's going to be the first thing. That's going to be what I lead with. So you see me come up on the ridge, I get a visual, and I let go. Now, I took out the first Guardian, and the Big Marvinski was giving me a lot of heat about this, about how I was giving the Rock quite a few Dawn Blades. Well, when I figured out that I was seeing the name from behind the Rock, that's when I took a pause. I come around the corner. You'll notice I'm not firing wildly. I'm taking my time because the Hammerhead has got a good punch to it. Come around the corner again. There's my last guy. So it's a good idea when you go over, you should have not only heavy ammo in place, you should also have your super in place. If you can use both, that's only going to help you out. So I did my team a favor. I wiped out the other team, and you'll notice that I pretty much filled the Primeval's health. So now I'm back into reload. And what we got to do now is we got to reach a melting point. If you are not familiar with the melting point, you're about to see it. But sadly, it happens for the other team. And just keep an eye on the health bars up top, and you'll notice that, boom, suddenly the match is over. We're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom in. I'm going to show you how quickly this happens. So at this point of the match, we are neck and neck with our primevals. But then, boom. That's what happens when you have controlled and concentrated supers and heavy firepower, and you have a compromised primeval. So overall, while I lost the round, it was still a pretty good round for me. The question is, it wasn't perfect. And can I learn from the mistakes I made? So this go round, we are fighting the Fallen. Not as tough as Cabal, but they're kind of like zombies in that their sheer numbers and the amount of damage they can do as a group, that's where you have to really watch yourself. And I learned that firsthand coming up right here. You'll notice I'm keeping a high point on this map, and then I get a little deeper into the action. And watch my health bar. I mean, right now I am in the worst possible situation I can be with Fallen. And you'll see that, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, not my finest moment. Not my finest moment. But at least my rando here gave me a res, so I appreciate that. One thing to know: servitors. When you take servitors out, even the vanilla servitors, they tend to drop a lot of motes. So that's nice to know. All right. So once again, due to a bounty, I'm rocking 2 auto rifles. So I'm switching back and forth between them, just so you know. Now this go around, I'm keeping my distance. This was something that I wasn't doing as much with the earlier Gambit round with the Cabal. So by keeping the distance, but then I make this mistake. That particular enemy has a follow-up explosion after it goes down. And take a look at my health bar. I am diving right into the maelstrom, and I don't know what I was thinking, but right now I am riding with the angels because I get lucky. I get very lucky, and as you can see, I walk away from it. Try not to do that. But with 7 motes, I'm making a play for the bank. You'll see the you'll see the first blocker come up. You see, I open with a grenade, but then again, team shooting takes out that blocker without any problems. But you can see just how valuable a large number of small blockers, as opposed to one big giant blocker, can make a difference and really slow down the other team. Heading back into the slums. Again, those mode of Fallen, they tend to leave a lot of motes in their wake too. And again, as I said earlier, some of these Fallen will also drop heavy ammo. And in that situation, again, it's open season for heavy ammo. Just remember to leave the heavy ammo that's mounted by the portal, leave that for any invader, just to make sure that they have that to go to right before they head on over. A lot of people don't dig this map, but I don't mind this map too much. It's very tricky, and you're about to see it's easy to fall off of. Right now we've got 2 blockers, and they're causing problems. And right now I'm the only person at the bank that's trying to clear it up. Oh wait, no, I take that back. I rescind the statement. There was someone else there, but you notice I got this one blocker down. He's real close to being out, and then another one just pops up. And that's the value of just continuously sending blocker after blocker after blocker after blocker. Sure, you can wait until you get 10 motes. Sure, you can wait until you get 15. But if you have three blockers, or if you've got blocker coming in after blocker after blocker after blocker, stuff like that happens. It's also good to pay attention to your map and make sure that you don't back off the edge of it like I just did. All right, getting back into it. In it to win it. Again, like I said, the Fallen, I find the Fallen to be easier opponents to deal with. The thing is, there are just so many of them. And anytime you see you see fallen that or any targets that are glowing like this one, it means they're going to drop a few more motes than usual.
They kill it, they win.
Now,
Portals up.
I want to go ahead and point something out real quick. Take a look at our current standing. We have 37 motes banked. The other side has a primeval. This is where invasion really, really comes into play. And you've got to be smart about it.
Your allies invading.
So we have an ally going over. And yeah, on top of everything else that you're doing in Gambit, it's good to pay attention to what the Drifter is saying. And I'll get into another reason why that's important in just a second.
Hades down and out. We're heading back.
Now, whatever the situation is for this other team, you'll notice that they haven't done a lot of damage to their primeval.
Portals up. Rotate.
But with a super and with heavy, I'm going over. Now let's see if I can learn from what I did the first time. So you'll notice that this first time I'm taking a moment to see if I can even see the targets. I took out one. I take a few more shots, and then I realize they're all behind shielding. Okay, so that means I got to take the fight to them. Again, when you're invading, 30 seconds is a lot longer than you realize. So you can take your time to line up the shots. And as you can see, I've now got one in my sights. He's down. And then I got this guy. I admire his chutzpah for running out, but no, he's down too. And unfortunately, I didn't get the fourth kill in. But if you were to ask me, I think that invasion went off better than the other. Now take a look. I was over there invading. We still don't even have the primeval, but you'll notice that gray bar basically says we have enough motes to get a primeval. Plus, listen to the Drifter throughout the game.
Almost. Bank and get that primeval out there.
All right, anytime you hear that bank and get that primeval out there, that is your cue. Bank. Don't sit on your motes. Just turn around wherever you are and get to the bank, because chances are one of you has enough motes to pull in the primeval.
Go look 'em in the eye.
And you'll see they are still, whatever is going on with the other team, they have still not done a lot of damage to their primeval. Granted, I set them back a bit, and that's a plus.
To the bank. It's time for a
Also, maybe not a good idea to take on a yellow bar by hand, but here's why when you hear that. This guy's running around with 13 motes. Okay, maybe it's a challenge. Maybe he's up to something that I don't know. But when you are this close, when you are this neck and neck in a final round, just listen to the Drifter and go and drop the freaking motes. Don't be this guy. Sorry, I get a little triggered by that. Anyway, we still haven't called our primeval. Meanwhile, this guy is running around with at least 15 motes. I'm not sure what he's waiting on, but it is what it is. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the rest of the motes because I can't apparently trust my team to call up the primeval. Finally, somebody gets the bank and drops in the primeval. Now you'll notice that at first I start going after the primeval itself, but then I switch guns and I turn my attention to the envoys. The trick about taking out the envoys, for some people it's not a strat for them. But the nice thing about the envoys, once you take them out, you actually stack damage against the primeval. This is what you're looking for on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Once you get that stacked up to 3 or better, that's when you want to start melting them. That's when you start concentrating all firepower and supers if you've got them at that point. Because you'll notice that once it goes to Primeval Slayer stacked at 3, that's when I send in my Dawn Blade. And then I start focusing my firepower on him. Now my super's done. I'm relying on the rest of my teammates now to have their supers in place. Now you just heard the Drifter say we actually have pulled ahead of our opponents. Keep in mind of where we were at the beginning of this, and then watch for it. there. Chaos Reach at this stage of the game, in this setting, is your best friend when you're a Warlock in Gambit. That is a fantastic way to melt the boss, as you see. Incredible comeback. And I'm prouder of this match than I was of the previous match. So what are our takeaways after this particular breakdown? Well, first off, if you're facing off Cabal, focus fire on the Scorpius turrets first. They will melt you otherwise, so keep an eye for them. And then, team fire works best, especially when clearing the bank. It works in Crucible, it really works well in Gambit. And before invading, check your super as well as heavy weapon ammo. It's good to have both to pull from. And then take your time when invading. 30 seconds is a long time. Take your time, line up your shots. And remember, running solo in Gambit isn't easy. You still have to consider the team. They can sometimes work for you and be the best people to run with, and sometimes it can be a real chore. It's not easy, but you still can solo in Gambit. Trust yourself.
Thanks for watching this episode of Happy Hour from the Tower. Remember, you can send us feedback either through WhatsApp or voicemail at 703-791-1701 or email us at podcast@happyhourfromthetower.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for our YouTube channel where you can see video episodes of Happy Hour from the Tower in the future. Remember that Happy Hour from the Tower is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, share-alike United States 3.0 license. You can find out more about that at creativecommons.org. Thanks for joining us. Eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. The first round's on us.